going on, YouTube? KG4FJC with the hat. I'm cool. I don't know why I do that. Anyway, we're here for part 6, and this will be all on the computer. Yeah, I got the dog down there. He's just chilling. So we've done all the hardware stuff. So now you've got your Raspberry Pi. You've got a keyboard, and you've got a monitor of some sort, HDMI cable to plug into the Raspberry Pi. All right. Oh, don't forget, reach around here. Little micro SD card. It shows up. Yeah, postage stamp. It's incredible how much stuff you can fit on something that small. So first things first, this is the card that you've already programmed or you've already burned, and we're just going to put that. I got to remember to do that where the camera can see it. Goes right in there, boom, like so. Okay, now what you'll need to do is you'll need to plug in your keyboard and your monitor, right? And then throw some juice to it, and we'll do that. We'll see what it looks like. All right, here we are. Now this is loading up. Let me grab my keyboard here. All right. So first, pardon all the noise here. Not as organized as I wanted to be. All right, your login. Root, R-O-O-T. Enter. Password. Root, R-O-O-T. Enter. Now it gives us this. Wow, this is hard for me to see here. Would you like to first run? Yes. Enter new password. I know one that I'm going to use. You do one that you're going to use. Enter. Dun, 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 dun. All right. All right. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. I've got to make it so that I can see what in the heck we're doing here, because I can't. So if you'll bear with me while I'm making this bigger, because I've got to start the recording, then do what I see. Okay, is this a private node? Most likely for us, no. So enter. All right, enter public node number. All right, and I'm going to use 471463. This would be of the node that you created earlier. All right, do you want to set up your node configuration for asterisk? Yes. All right, it'll be run after reboot. Well, that's fine. Do you want to change the default time zone? Defaults to New York or Eastern. Since I'm in the East, no, I don't need to change the time zone. If you're somewhere else, then yes, you'll need to change yours. And if you need to change it later, admin.sh, that's fine. Current host name is Alarm Pi. Do you want to change this? You can if you want or not. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to change it. Let's put in test node. Okay. Current interface is static. Do you want to change this? No, we don't want to do that right now. Current SSH port is 222. That's what we want. So do we want to change this port? No. All right, now we got to do a reboot and leave everything connected and do a reboot. And
show what that looks like here. Not anything really all that thrilling. Boom, and it'll come back up. And we'll do the boot sequence again. And we've got just a couple more things, and then we can get rid of the keyboard. So it's kind of nice.
Doesn't take long. And nice thing is it doesn't take very long to reboot either. All right, so our username is root, R-O-O-T. All right, now the password is what you changed it to. Yes, there's that. All right, script for files, blah, 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 blah. Do you wish to continue? Well, yeah. Node number, all right, that's fine. Then put in your call sign, FJC. This will change because you're not me. You're not cool like me. All right, whatever. Do you want your node to report its status to Allstar? Yes, you do, for the most part. if you're a public node, because then that way it will show up in the stats and people can connect to you, all that good stuff. So typically, yes, you want it to report. Do you want it to use voice ID? I don't really care for voice ID a whole lot. You may not. I don't. If you want to, select yes. I don't, so I'm going to select no. All right, our bind port 4569. Yes, this needs to stay that for your default. For most people, it'll stay that way. That's the port that you want to use. It's just the VoIP port. All right, now here's where you've got a couple of choices, here and here and here and here. All right, if you want it to have a little courtesy tone and a little hang time where it kind of emulates a repeater, you'll leave it set on option number 1. If you don't want a courtesy tone and hang time and all that stuff, you would select option 0. I like having the courtesy tone and stuff. That way it lets me know that I'm making it in. Personal preference. But for what we're doing, you're either going to want one of the first two choices, either 0 or 1. I would say go with 1 because it'll kind of help a little bit, but not critical. All right, your node password. All right, this is where I'm going to have to edit this part out of the video when it comes back to it because, well, y'all don't need to see it. All right, and we're back. Do you want to configure the password for IXRPT? No, not at this time. Do you wish to configure simple USB settings right now? No, not at this time either. Do you want to restart asterisk to enable selection? Yes, please. And there we go. Now we've got this. This is our admin menu. All right, the first thing we want to do so that we can work this stuff out, let's go down here to number 7 for your Wi-Fi interface. Select that one. We want to set up a wireless SSID and passphrase. Passphrase, do you wish to continue? Well, yeah, I do because that's why I selected it. Duh. Do you want to manually enter it? No, I'm lazy. So it'll scan for all the Wi-Fis that it can see. And, all right, here's a few here. This is the one that I want to choose from right here. And, of course, I'll have to delete this one out too so that you can't see this. Okay, and we're back. Do we want to reboot the server now? Yes.
Okay. Now we're rebooting that. All well and good. Alright, well while that's rebooting, we're going to pause there for the cause.
Alright, and the last thing that we're going to do is we need to go back in. Let's make a little shortcut. It's kind of cool. Okay. So that'll bring up our capture card again, or our, yeah, that's what I'm using is the capture card. And I've got to make this screen for me to see. So bear with me. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go down here to number 9. This is a little trick. All right. All right. This is your whole command line. Oh my gosh. Okay. IFCONFIG. IFconfig. So IFCONFIG. All right. What we're looking for is, I'm not even sure how I can do that because, anyway, where it says WLAN 0 and flags, right underneath that, the IP address 192.168.43.76. Write that down. It'll be different on your network, but write that number down because that's what you're going to need to do PuTTY for right now. So to get out of this, once you've written that down, just type exit. All right, comes back here. All right, so that's all we needed right there is just that number. All right, so then let me transition here so I can do some other things. All right, so now that you've got that number written down, that's the IP address of the Pi. So write that number down somewhere you can get to it. You'll need it. That's the quick and easy way of getting the IP address since you've already got everything hooked up. Okay, might as well make use of it. IFconfig, then look for the wireless LAN, and it's the IP address right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you don't need the keyboard and the mouse and the monitor anymore. now we're going to go, pow, we're going to go over here back to our computer, and those programs that you downloaded when you did the whole ham VoIP thing. Now we're going to make use of PuTTY. Alright, so now we're going to go over here and open up PuTTY. 192.168.43.76. Okay, then over here at the port, 222, enter. Alright, this box will pop up here. It's just confirming the keys to talk to each other. Select yes. Now we're back over here and I put my head right in the way. Make it smaller again so you can see it here. And and there we go. Do that, and I'll do that. Put that there. All right, really doesn't matter anyway. So we just log in, root, whatever password you chose. Boom. All right. Now, first thing we want to do is number one right here. All right. All your selections, I'm going to move the cursor out of the way because all your selections are done with the arrow keys and the enter button. All right. Down arrow, up arrow, over, over. All right. First thing we're going to do, let's do an update. Enter. All right. If you've got internet connection, this should come up. You want to receive the latest updates? Yes. Retrieve, excuse me, not receive.
Alright, so that'll do that. This doesn't take very long either. Especially, like I said, they do a good job of maintaining all this. So we're going to let the updates run. And almost. Might have to fast forward that. Yeah, I think I'll fast forward this.
Okay, now that that's done. Cool. Now we're getting in the swing of things. All right. This is, like I said, this is just getting our basic stuff set up. All right. So now we've got a node set up and online. All right. First thing we want to do, well, you can do it in any order you want. All right. This is so that we can check and make sure that the node is registered online. Now this can happen pretty quickly, or it can take 15 or 20 minutes. We're going to go for right now and see what happens. So option number 11, run *CLI client. Okay. Yep, we've got typing stuff to do, but it's not that hard. Just follow with me. So we're going to run that. That's a heck of a screen change there, wasn't it? Let me make that so we can see what the heck we're doing. All right. IAX2 space SHOW space registry. Enter. All right, cool. We are good to go. See right here where it says state registered? That means that our node has now connected with the asterisk or with the allstarlink.org servers and should be visible online. So we are good to go. Now we'll exit from that. Brings us back here. And if you give me a minute, the next thing we need to do is now we're ready to hook up our interface and the radio. So let me do that, and you do that at the same time. All right. So now, at this point, we should have the monitoring keyboard unhooked. We should be in by way of PuTTY on it to the admin menu, and you have your radio hooked up to a dummy load. Important first thing, just because dummy load or a load, just in case it does key up. It shouldn't at this point, but just in case. So you've got your USB cable running. Well, let me let's do this. This is a you can see it over here. All right, do that. All right, so we've got our TYT radio, the cable that we made earlier. Okay, coax is going to a dummy load sitting on the bench, and of course power cable. Okay, we've got our Pi over here. All right, that's just, you know, hooked to here. There's no magic in between. It's just that cable there. and the pie is just sitting there because this pie is, well, it's just a pie. So that's what we should have right now, okay? And we should also have Mr. Potato Fang, as Christian down here in Gloucester calls it, Potato Fang. I like that. Set your TYT up on a simplex frequency. I'm using 2235 because I'm on a dummy load, and I'm using a Baofeng because it's a piece of crap. So turn on your radio, okay? It should not start transmitting. If it does, I'll show you where we change that. If it starts transmitting, turn it back off. But it should not, okay? So first, turn up your volume on your TYT. Make sure your rig's talking to it. Look at the front of the rig. Oh! Yeah, it works. And if you notice, what we got also, key up. Hey, that's a good sign. That means it's doing its thing. If you watch the radio, you'll see it's transmitting back out. So, now that we've got that, let's go over, I've got to, wow, that one, nope, that one, uh-oh, my computer's about to freeze. That's not good. Hold on, let me stop this and figure out why my computer's gonna freeze. Got me, I don't know. It's acting, yeah, a bit buggy. All right, so we're gonna go back over here. And what we are going to do is we are going to go down to, ding, I got selected first, Demi. Number 12, run simple USB tune menu application. Why it resizes the screen like this, I got no idea. All right, so your radio's turned on and you've got all the stuff up here. This is pretty cool. Let's take a look at view V, Victor, okay? And what this does, this shows us the state of our interface, all right? And of the radio indirectly. All right, our COS, that means our squelch line, all right, is clear, which is good. All right, the actual input is clear, which is good, and well, we're not testing the COS line, so that's clear also. We're not using CTCSS, so that's ignored by default, which is good, and that's clear, and PTT is clear, okay? Now, if you take your Potato Fang and key it, look at that, COS is keyed, that's good. That means it's seeing that there's an incoming signal in, and when we let off, we should see this go to keyed. Cool, good, we're working. That's a good thing. All right, now we'll just hit enter. Brings us back to our menu. Turn down the other radio again. And let's see, let's go and set our audio levels first. And this is just a generic, get you in the ballpark. It'll be close, but, and actually, you know what? While I said that, let's go down and we want to make sure that F and G are both disabled, which they currently are, okay? For how we have it set up, these will be disabled. It needs to stay that way, okay? We don't really need, anything like that. That's more advanced, okay? And we're gonna take, and first off, option B, receive boost. Let's turn that off. We probably won't need it. If we do, we can turn it back on, but let's take a look. So, all right, up here, option number 2, receive voice level, okay? Oops, helps if I hit number 2, dingbat. Okay, now, if you look here at the bottom of the screen, try to make this a little bit bigger. I don't know if it helps any. Hopefully you can see it there. Receive voice level display, all right, we've got, it's a V, but it's actually a marker, all right, pointing down, and then another V here pointing down. All right, 3 kilohertz and 5 kilohertz. Hey, check it out. I'm IDing. That's kind of cool. At least that part's working. So what we'll do is we'll key up, and we'll just give like a, that kind of thing, and we'll see where this comes in at. Believe it or not, we're pretty close. You want it to be definitely between 3 and 5. You want it to be on your peaks right around the 3. So what we're looking, that's actually pretty acceptable. But let's take, just for giggles, and we'll knock it down just a little bit. Default is 500. So let's knock it down to 475. Okay. Hit enter again. Do it again. We'll go with that. That should be okay. I am on a potato thing. So, all right. If you're shooting way over here, which it shouldn't be. I mean, if you followed along and did everything, you should have the same results because I'm not doing anything different. But if you're shooting way out here, turn it way down. If you're shooting way out here, make sure that your receive boost is turned off. It can help, but I found receive boost makes your audio fuzzy, so not too good. All right, so our receive is pretty close. Excuse me. All right, so we hit enter, and we're going to hit enter again because we don't want to change anything. That takes us back to our menu. Okay, now we want to set our transmit level. I can already tell that it's a little stinking hot, but the easiest way that I found to do that is first we're going to select option C, all right, which is echo mode. All right, and echo mode changed to enabled. Now, if you key up and say something, it'll spit it back to you as soon as you unkey. KG4 FJC testing.
KG4 FJC testing.
Okay, I don't know if it comes through on the microphone or not, probably not, but for me, it's a little distorted sounding, and it's a little overdriven. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock this down with option number 3. Sorry, I should have said that. Option number 3 is your transmit level. So that's the level going from your TYT back to your handheld. Okay. Option number 2, your receive level, is going from your handheld through the TYT and out the internet. So you don't want to have that too hot or too soft. This one, for a simplex node, you're the only one really hearing it, so you set this to like what you want. Anyway, for me, I thought it was a little bit hot, so I'm going to drop that down to 450 and hit enter, and then we'll do it again. KG4 FJC test. Whoops. My repeater had gone off, and it lit up. And when it lit up, the radio switched to that one. Sorry. Let's try a KG4 FJC test. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
All right, I've had issues here. All right, let's give it a little test. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Okay, that sounds a lot better to me. Let's take and turn off echo mode with C again. Okay. That's really about it for everything that you need to do. Now, I will show you how you can test to make sure your buttons work. All right, because that's important. If you find your DTMF keys don't work, normally it's because this one right here, the GD emphasis, is usually set the wrong way. Okay, but anyway, so it sounds like we're good. Testing 1 2 3. KG4 FJC, which is not going to give me a kickback because I already turned it off. But we still got our courtesy tone. All right, so in order to save these, we need to hit right. Make sure you do this, otherwise you will screw yourself up. Hit W, enter. All right, it tells you that it saved it. Enter again. Now we can exit. Okay, 0, exit. Okay, we're back to our admin menu. Now to test, make sure our buttons are working, we're going to come down here to number 11, the CLI client again. Enter. And yeah, I don't know why my screen changes. Anyway, now with here, we should be able to see on the screen when we hit buttons. So we'll key up. All right, there's the star. There's a 0. There's a pound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Our potato thing is working. So now that we've got these right here, this verifies that when we hit buttons on our HT, this says, yes, I heard this character that you hit. So now you are set up. Let me exit out of this one. And let me change my screens here. Pow! Go back to that. And let's see, star 3.
Node 47151 connected to.
You hear how loud and crappy that sounds? I'll show you how to fix that coming up soon. Okay, so I connected up to my buddy's node. Let's see. KG4FJC testing on video. And I'm actually monitoring his radio, or I'm sorry, his repeater with another radio here, and it's keying up and audio is coming back. So we are good. You now have a functional node. There's still more tailoring and stuff to do, but you have a functional node. Now I want to emphasize one thing here. Let me go to this here, go to here. All right, what I want to emphasize is if this radio gets turned off, okay, if it loses power or gets turned off while you are connected to another node, it will hang it up. All right, the reason being is because the COS, all it does is it grounds one of the leads coming from your interface. It just sends it to ground, and that tells the interface, when the interface sees ground, oh, there's a signal coming in. That's all it is. Well, when you turn your radio off, that goes to ground. The interface thinks that, oh, there's a signal coming in, when there's actually not. So be very aware of that. You never want to just turn off your node radio, not while you're connected up. If you disconnect from any other connections and you turn it off, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not going to do anything. So just be very aware of that. There is a way to change that so that it doesn't. But again, this is a very simple, basic Allstar node build. So that pretty much is it for getting your node functioning. So there's your node from start to finish. So hopefully you enjoyed. And yeah, stick around. We're going to do some more with how to tailor your audio a little bit better, and IDs and all that stuff, a little more advanced stuff, but that gets you a node running. So there you go. We did that in what, 6 videos? So we're up and going. All right, 7.3 KG4FJC.